Breakdowns.
Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We are on episode 71. All right, we're getting closer to that 100 mark, and today's is honestly, I'm stoked for this one. I'm excited. I can't believe, like, first of all, that y'all haven't been on here yet, which is crazy. But yeah, I'm super excited. And first of all, before I introduce these people, I want to let my Hispanic community know it's just a band name, all right? It's not the actual immigration that's after you today. But today we have Spencer and motherfucking Cameron from Immigration. What's going on, guys?
Let's go.
Immigration is the latest project y'all
the
are
latest
on together.
project,
Yeah,
yes.
because y'all have already been on a project for years now. But you're starting something new. And I know, like, Spencer, you're the one kind of, like, strong-heading this department. You've kind of been working on this for quite a bit now.
Yeah, so I started Immigration with my little brother who passed away 7 years ago. We're both half Mexican, so we found it humorous, you know, being from the country and not a lot of people being in bands. Just call it Immigration, and we heard about it all the time, you know, because, I mean, Trump was going to be elected, and I know, like, I don't want to talk about politics, but it was just something that was on our mind constantly.
Yeah.
We heard immigration this, immigration that, so we were like, it's a little bit hard to search on Google.
True,
Like,
yeah.
but we didn't give a fuck. We just fully sent it, and when he passed away, I put it away for a couple of years. Brought it back in 2019. I put out a couple recordings with some of my friends, and my baby mama, Randy, she helped me out a lot with the band and getting it back going.
Yeah.
Our friend Andrew, he has been in and out of prison pretty much like his whole life, but he taught my little brother how to play guitar for the most part, and my brother was a shredder. And I had to put it away because of the pandemic. On March 14, 2020, we had got blessed by Parade of Flesh. We got to play a show at Narrowhead, which is one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
So that was whenever I decided I was going in the right direction, but I didn't want to do anything hesh and like go head first in anything. So I've been taking my time with this project. I started recording the album called Stellium that I'm going to be releasing fairly soon. Our first single drops July 7th. It's called Spineless. It's going to drop with a music video shot by Baby Ave.
Baby Abe, you got to work. Yeah, that dude's been killing it.
He recorded a video for Little Skies. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally. Like I started watching. I met actually. Baby Abe has been in my old apartment because like we had a mutual friend that was shooting a music video, and I think it was still like early on, like Baby Abe. But like to see what like that being shot and then seeing like the type of shit that he's working on now, you know, is insane. It's so awesome. It's so awesome to see like people that you know and are like keep working at shit and like just start putting out like some really dope like amazing stuff. And then with you, like you actually like getting to work with them, you know, and getting to still be part of that, both of each other's kind of like journey. But the title of the album, what was the word again?
Stellium.
What does that word mean?
It's like a zodiac thing.
Okay.
So I'm a stellium Capricorn. I have 8 placements in the house of Capricorn.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just something that stuck with me. The album cover will speak for itself whenever you see it.
I'm excited. I've been saying, like, I saw the little like stills from like the music video that y'all were shooting, and it just looks fucking fun. I mean, and I might have seen a little bit of the actual video, but it loos awesome. Which goes to show, I think, in what you're saying, it's like that you don't want to just like rush something or just put something out like half-assed. Like literally with every step of this thing that seems like it just popped out of nowhere, and it's just like, this looks amazing, like right away. Like this is, but it's not, like I said, it's something you've been working on for quite a bit, which is really cool, and that's why it's exciting. I think people have like seen y'all in other projects and before, and are already 100% confident like about this like being great. And then also the effort that you're putting into it kind of shows with the music. You know, you've been writing it for quite a bit. You know, you started writing it years back. As far as like, because you primarily wrote, you know, most of these parts together, what was your intent behind like the actual music? Like what
I actually wrote everything.
Everything?
Everything.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say I've been recording this album since 2020, and Joe, you know, a producer adds or subtracts. I'll say he created some atmospheric keys in the background of some of the tracks, and he ad-libbed a little bit of guitar on a couple, but everything, this is my baby. This is my.
So what was like your, not purpose, but let's say, I mean, we could tackle this from every angle because you wrote everything. So I'll go with something like I'm more familiar with. So lyrically and like conceptually, what was that kind of like that you were working with?
I stay on my lover boy shit.
Yeah.
And I fucking yeah, bro. I a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. Like I mean, definitely not really comfortable in relationships. Like I feel like I don't know, I might be alone for a long time, but that's really what it's about. And I don't know, a lot of it is finding comfort in being alone.
Yeah. Is that that's, I mean, it's always like for me, like it's always been like my favorite thing to listen to and write. Like once I started like being in a band and writing music, it's one thing I never really got to tackle with like the songs I wrote, because I didn't get comfortable with writing until like the last thing that I wrote, and I'm like, oh, this is a really good song. And then after that, I was like, oh, I want to write this stuff, and I never really got to put something out. But it's relationships and just like love and that feeling, you know what I mean? It's really a powerful like emotion that's like very, I don't know, it's just very easy to write about, because like everybody, like, I don't know, I feel like everybody has to have like moments where it just sucks, like in relationships and loves, and it's just like, oh, and it that moment feels real. It's like, oh yeah, like
it's easily relatable. Everybody goes.
Everybody does. Although in the moment, it always feels it's just happening to you. Like in the moment, like it's real strong, where you're just like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like this is what it feels like. But you touched on being comfortable and being alone. Is that something that you like kind of took a few maybe years or stuff to be at that place right now?
I'm 29 and I'm still not comfortable being alone. Yeah. No,
okay.
I prefer company. I like being around people. I like getting to know people. I like touching people and just like experiencing people. Like I'm a people person. Mm-hmm. I don't like being alone. But whenever I can find comfort in myself, it's usually in pride of, you know, accomplishing something or bringing my own visions to life, like these songs and stuff that I've been writing for years. Like on the Spineless video, the one that you saw, I directed that. That's my directorial debut. Yeah. And so I'm like proud of that. I also directed the second video. We also shot that with...
You already shot a second video?
Yeah, we shot a second
video. Holy shit, oh my God.
Yeah, no,
the ground fucking running.
Yeah, we've got 2 more coming. The next one's going to be shot on July 16th. And it's going to be done on a VHS like camera with Blaze Yunkin from Somebody Else.
Holy shit, that sounds fucking hard. Yeah, I don't even know how like to go about editing on tape.
Because of our style, like alternative, grunge, gaze, emo, like mixture of all that. I want to give like people an opportunity to see like the produced videos that I can do, the big full-on production with the lights, the camera, the action. I also want them to, you know, feel the real, raw, like style. And being a 90s kid, most of my influence are from the 90s.
So this is like a big overall creative project for you, where it's not just an avenue of like just music that you're writing. You really want to express this art as like a whole with every... I feel like there's like a bunch of like, it's like with directing, you know, with working on like the actual visuals of it, writing everything. So it's, I feel like that's kind of where this is going. I feel like you're just gonna like keep finding different ways to express the same art that's being put out by the music. Is that kind of like something that you're pushing for? I'm
extremely ready to be known as a visual artist, as far as like my own right, not just somebody else's guitar player, which is fine. Like I love playing guitar. I love being on stage. I love being in a packed venue and touring. I love it. It's what I dreamt of since I was a kid. But yeah, it's my turn.
Nice. I think definitely, because I mean I've known you. I first got to know you with "It Is What It Is," but then we started talking, and even like earlier this year, I started hearing a different like project, like just songs that you had been writing, and I didn't know that was completely different than this. This is a completely other project. So you're just like constantly being creative. So I think like I started seeing that, and you know, maybe, you know, my fault for being like one dimensional. I was just like, oh, okay, you know, It Is What It Is was the only thing that I was kind of like looking at you as, and being able to see like how like your range of stuff is really fucking cool. That's why you sent me like all this stuff. I'm like, this is fucking dope. Like it's so like really cool. And then like you start realizing like, oh, I can't believe like it's been keeping under like wraps for like a minute, you know, and then finally getting a chance to put it out like must feel amazing.
I also think it's just the right time. You know, Narrowhead just dropped a great album. Bands like that are doing alternative and grunge gaze, I guess,
Yeah.
like emo gaze. Like it's just popping right now, and it's kind of cool for me because that's, you know, what I always wanted to make, and it's just easy for me. It pours out of me.
Yeah, and you got, I mean, you got a great team also, like to play with you, like live, and like help you, like, you know, keep pushing that vision. How quick was it? Huh?
Hand selected.
Yeah, I can. That definitely is what that looks like. When I looked at everybody who was on there, I'm like, these are all like perfect, like people to work with. Like, I mean, first of all, like I needed, like, how quick was like that answer, like to be part of this? Like, how was like that
I was
presented?
like begging him to be part of it.
Yeah, well, he's
No,
one of my
wait,
best
first-
fucking friends.
He's like, you were in the running, but
At first, he's like, bro, it's called immigration. I think everybody needs to be brown. I was like, bro, come on. You
like,
know,
I'll
ain't
start
nobody
tanning
do it
right
like
now.
this.
Like,
I gotta start on it.
Shit.
But no, I was bad. I'm like, bro, you gotta let me. Come on, bro. You know I could do this. And so he finally got me in on it. It's like, okay. He flip flopped on me a few times.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. And then, so we sealed the deal, and that's project number 3 together. So,
well, I mean,
We're-
with that, like your chemistry is, you already know that that's like perfect. Like you
Yeah.
know how to work with each other and communicate with each other.
I also think sometimes when you have a vision, you step outside of it, and you're gonna get a better result. Like, you know what I mean? I got Badger, I got Cameron, like both 2 of my favorite white boys, and yeah, no, they're perfect. Like if immigration was a fucking bowl of ice cream, I'm the strawberry, Badger's the chocolate, you're vanilla, Austin's the whipped cream, and Edward's that cherry.
Edward's
Yeah.
that cherry. Boy, I love that man, dude. 'Cause and he like, first of all, like he's been in like every fucking band. But like what I like about that is that he, at first I'm like, there's gotta be a way, like he's stretching himself thin. But he like whole asses every fucking project that he does, and he's in a bunch. Like he's like played through a bunch. He's a great person just overall, and just like being able to be adaptive and creative and like fall into like these spots. Like I've just been like, before we were friends, I feel like I was a fan, and then like we became like actual like really good friends. So anytime I see him being part of something, like I'm completely behind it. And like I was already like behind it here, and then when I saw the unveiling of the band, I'm just like, oh, this is sick. These are all like really fucking great musicians, and this is gonna be fun as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's starting off the project, but like to be able to, the right group to be able to push that vision for you, because I know like you had a vision of what you were looking for, but I feel like you've got a great team to help you push that, which is really cool. Yeah, was that like a long process, like finding everybody that you wanted to be in it, or how was hard was those decisions?
Not really.
No?
It was just kind of natural.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I knew I had a drummer lined up, but he lived kind of far. And I was like talking to Cameron about it. I was just like, let's do it. Badger, I met him when he was 14, and I walked into his house and I heard like drums and shit. And just I walked to the back room, and he's just playing Helena on drums, a little kid,
Yeah.
and singing his ass off. His dad was a mailman in our hometown, and he's playing the guitar, and they're just rocking out. And I've just known he was special ever since. I used to own a small independent record label called Weird Planet Records, and I put his band Darks and Charlies on it. They're like a synth pop band. He's just always been a very talented kid in my eyes, and I've always held a special place in my heart for him and his fiance Rachel. Shout out Badger and Rachel.
I didn't know that about the independent record label.
Yeah.
Wow. How long did you have that?
I had it from, I want to say 2015 to 2017 or something. I signed like Milo, like Steffi's acoustic project.
Oh, yeah.
Gas Station Sushi, and I try to push some of my friends' acoustic projects and some of the original immigration recordings. But I was out in the middle of nowhere. That's another reason that me and Cameron have so much to relate on, is we both come from very small towns.
Well, that's what like again, like I'm just barely, I feel like, starting to like learn like little like tidbits and stuff about like y'all, because like you were like we were talking about like coffee. He was like, oh, like, you know, I was like, coffee and water's fine, like we're country boys, this and that. And I'm like, wait, y'all are? Like I was like I don't know exactly. I realized that I'm like, oh, I know surface level stuff, and like we're friends and stuff, but like oh, like I don't know all these like little details of. But that's so coming from a background like that, and now being in, I mean, DFW's huge for music. So how was How was like that move over? I mean, did you
was
move on your
fucking-
own, or did you like move with the family?
It was a little sad, and then it was fucking beautiful. Like at the same time, like had to, get rid of a house in Greenville to move out to Dallas. I moved out there in 2019. I've only had an Instagram account since 2019. Like my personal Instagram. I am late to the game on everything. I'm 29 and I did not move to Dallas till I was 25 years old.
Whoa.
So like that's whenever I joined It Is What It Is.
Yeah.
And that's whenever I felt that I started to be noticed more, because I had been playing shows in DFW with A Language Learned, my first city band. And
You were in a language learned?
that was me, the singer.
Oh shit!
Yeah, with the long ass hair. That was me.
Oh my god!
just had really fucking
Holy
long hair.
shit! I remember seeing you at, I think it was a Prophet Bar one time. Oh my god! Anyways,
Hell yeah, with
weird.
Stolas?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking Stolas is crazy.
that
Sergio,
band.
what, is it Gomez? I can't remember. The guitar player for
Yeah.
Stolas. I need to see him fall one time, because that dude's been like jumping on his amp and doing all this shit and never, not once, not tripped, like not anything. And I'm like, this is nuts. But that was
I
the
love
show. That is
Sergio,
like,
yeah.
they're sick. But damn, okay. So you were playing with like other bands, but that's kind of like It Is What It Is when you kind of started getting maybe a little bit more out into the community and stuff. you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jesse is a friend to the entire DFW community. Shout out Jesse. Fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes,
he's cooking hard right now.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Like sometimes we're a little slow to the drop as a collective, but we got so much shit in the gun.
Yeah.
Like just loaded. So
It's right. You,
Yeah.
you get to, pop it off whenever you
yeah,
want to.
shout out It Is What It Is.
June 1st, Blue Slips Sink Ships is out on all platforms.
that fucking
June 1st.
title. Jesse
June
told me.
1st.
Jesse was here like what a week or two ago, and he let go that title, and I'm like, bro, I fucking love that. It's okay.
So fucking emo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I literally.
It instantly puts me to From Under the Cork Tree. To
Pretty
be
much,
real.
yeah. With the
The
fucking-
last song,
Oh,
XO.
oh shit!
Yeah.
Like, damn, I don't remember that one, but I remember like he showed me that. It's good. I love Jesse. Which is crazy because like they came back and I realized that they were the first guest on the podcast.
That was episode 1.
That was episode 1.
Fuck
Jesse
yeah,
was?
Jesse was
Holy
episode
shit.
1. Yeah,
Holy shit.
I was like, hey, like I need to do this, and I'm like I'm nervous. Like I don't know like who to ask. Like, do you want to come on? It's like we'll make it whatever. You know what I mean? And it was like the shortest one we did. But I was like, okay, like I'm comfortable now. So
Fuck
I
yeah.
realized
Hell
when I
yeah.
came back, I'm like, yeah, badass. And it's crazy to see like everything that's happened, like just between those 2 points.
Dude, I'm loving looking at these fucking pictures, man. You do a lot for DFW between NoiseROT and this fucking podcast and the fest. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's
I'm
fun.
like really
Like, that's-
glad to be here. I
that's-
feel good talking to you right
That's
now.
literally why like we wanted to do it as a collective. Like the podcast. I mean, I've said this story a bunch of times, but it was a temporary gig. It was just like 6 episodes to promote the festival, and that's all it was
Right.
going to be. And then I was like, like let me just interview like more people. Like let's see, I was having fun. And then like a month in, I'm just like, this is fucking great. Like I enjoy like this. And for me, like, I'm just like I like all the artists, like all the people are either my friends or just like people that I'm a fan of, and just like all this stuff, and I get to just talk and learn about like the fucking small shit and the intricacies of stuff where I always kind of bring it up like this at a show. You get a little bit of a conversation, be like, oh, this and that, but you don't get like the time to sit down and be like, okay, explain to me like why are you writing this, or like what's the motivation, like again like your background or where you come from. Again, coming from a small town, it's just awesome, like to me. So like to me it's just like that's the reward in itself. That's why I do it. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff, what we've like upgraded and what it is now is just because like I love doing this, and I want to make sure like it's as comfortable for people to come, and I hope like people have fun like when they get here.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
this
it's
is
all
a fucking hell of a way to start a Sunday afternoon, man.
Right.
I like it.
But okay, so Cameron, you come kind of like from the same like a little background as far as like
Similar, yeah. I'm from a little bitty town northwest of Fort Worth called Boyd, Wise County, and that's pretty much where I grew up. I've always played drums and music. My dad's a musician. My grandmother's a musician. All our brothers and sisters were in a country western band together.
Really?
Played in Vegas and stuff.
Holy shit.
So like, yeah, it's always been in my family. I've always jammed with my dad. He's a guitar player. But like, I had no idea like the local music scene existed. Like, I was always a fan of like all the Warped Tour stuff. The Asking Alexandrias and Vice and Men, August Burns Red. Like, I loved all that shit through middle school and high school. And like, I had a group of friends. We all liked that. But like, I graduated with 80 something people. It's not like we're tiny, little cow town, like literally in like
you knew everybody in that graduating class.
Yeah. Like, I knew everybody. Like, it was pretty cool with everybody, but like didn't know the music scene existed. And I went to a random show. It was like the Plot and You era, Invent, Animate, I think Islander, right? At the door.
Islander. Oh, wow.
And that was when the door had the side stage, and there was like local bands playing between every one of them. Every band on the tour. Yeah. And one of those bands was actually Trials of Man with Jesse and Jonathan playing.
Oh, yeah.
And there was some other bands like Far From Earth and Begotten and Navajo, I think, were the bands playing that night. And my like head exploded. I was like, how do I do this? Yeah. I want to be a part of this. And just over time eventually met everybody, and then a few years later Jesse asked me to be in his band. And that was first serious project.
The local scene opening up to like you is like it's an interesting moment, like when you realize that shit is around you. Because I remember like going through that, because I was like, I think I was introduced, I think I came in late into the game to being like even into like heavier music just in general, so I had to be eased into it. So like the bands that I was like listening to was like A Day to Remember, because like they would mix it up with like poppy like choruses and stuff, and then have some heavy stuff, and then like I think like I remember Into Shikari, Sorry You're Not a Winner was like a big one, but like little stuff. But that was like when I was first getting. So I remember going to like Warped Tour just to see one band, and then like seeing because I remember seeing random. I only knew A Day to Remember, but like Paramore was there, and like Angels and Airwaves, like all this like other stuff. But I only knew that big scene, like the bigger scene, and I think it's because one of my friends still played it. Actually, DJ's band. I didn't know him at the time, Daniel, but I knew who would be my guitar player in Under Oblivion was Richard, and they played in a band together still. So I think they invited me to a show at Tomcats, I think, and it was the first time that I was like,
R.I.P.
Dude, that was such a great little venue. And again, I didn't know what the fuck I was going into, because I was like, the way it was tucked away back there, this is the first time I'm ever going to anything local, and I'm just like, what the fuck is back here, whatever. And it just being like, seeing all the bands, I'm like, I don't know any of these fucking bands like at all, but like they were fucking good. And I'm like, I go, who are these? I was like, oh, we're like, and then I think just through my friends talking to those other people and realizing, oh, these are all just fucking people around the same area that I live in. And then that's when it kind of clicked. It's like, oh, I can do that. You know what I mean? Because like I tried to have a band in high school, but it was limited to just like playing to people that knew me. So people like from my high school and stuff like that. But as far as like being able to play for strangers, that like never was a possibility. For me, it was just like, you're either playing for your friends or you're either really famous, and there was no like, I didn't know what that journey looked like. Right. But then being able to see people like do that, and then see fucking bands now that have done it and like are doing crazy ass shit. I mean, Jonathan was here the other week, and like Unity's fucking on
shout out Unity.
Unity, you know what I mean? Like they're doing amazing things, and they again played playing the same venues that I like when I was in a band playing. So like the stuff is like, it's real, you know what I mean? Like you see it, and it's so cool to see your friends just like, again, doing the shit that they love and seeing that it's possible, and it's just like, it's fun, you know, it's fun to be part of it. You meet so many good people, like Jesse was one of like the friends that I've kept through like a few years now that it was just because our bands played like similar shows together, and it's good. I think I love the scene for that, because it's really easy to find, you know, good people that are just like, I feel like the people that I've like kept and still in like my life all just want to see like everybody else fucking thrive, and it's fantastic. And I think that's the type of support that y'all have been receiving. Is that kind of what it's felt like since you started this new project?
I mean, with Immigration, like I've honestly kept it under wraps. We're about to drop the pre-save link like this week and start like posting pictures, but the like follower count has gone up. People have known me for a while. Like, I guess I came into the scene with A Language Learned. That was a band created by Nick Womack, the original owner of Die. And so my baby mama, Randy, had gone to high school with Dalton Banfield at Forney, and he was their original drummer.
Okay.
So that's like how I kind of got in with all those people, and I met people like Danny, who I ended up doing my first ever music video for in 2020 during the pandemic with Avery. So this, like, I've worked with Avery now. This last video was our 8th or 9th video, because we've just done several with several different people: Emotional Zen, Alexis Monroe, Immigration, Danny Goo. It is what it is. Like. So I'm honestly gonna keep working with Avery for a long time. That's one of my favorite people that I've ever met. Shout out, baby Avery.
He's from Wichita Falls. I was born in Wichita Falls.
Wichita Falls?
Yeah.
That's a baby Ezra over there too?
Yeah, he went to Ryder High School.
Right around the
I saw that and that like blew my mind. He's in DFW.
I was born in Pittsburgh, Texas.
There's a Pittsburgh in Texas?
It's where the Hot Links are from, man. Those Pittsburgh Hot Links are not from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They're from East Texas. They're East Texas Links.
What the fuck?
But yeah, I swear to God. I swear to God.
That's going to be the first immigration sponsor for you.
Nah, bro. Honestly, like, right now, everything's crunched as well. I'm looking extremely forward to this national tour that me and Cameron are about to go on with Emotional Zen. We're going on the Hey Asshole tour every date with NASCAR Aloe, who signed to Epitaph. We're going out with Dirty Butt and our homeboy Stink. And we leave on Saturday. We're going up to LA. We're going to shoot a video with Lost Noise. Shout out Lost Noise. Going up to Fresno, and that's just where it starts, but it's going to be an insane month.
That's nuts. Y'all have been part of Emotional Zen for a little bit, no?
I helped start. I originally was the drummer whenever he went to nu metal.
Having a band.
Yeah. Whenever he decided that he didn't want to do rap as much. Like he just put out a rap single called Change, I think 2 weeks ago, maybe 1 week. But he dropped that first nu metal album, and I helped him get it off the ground because in May of 2021, NASCAR Aloe hit him up and was like, "Hey, you want to do a Texas tour?" And he hit me up on April 15th, and we had exactly 1 month. And I was like, "Yeah, bro, I want to go on tour. Fucking COVID's been killing me, dude.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go." So I think we were some of the first people back out to venues, but we got to play Come and Take It. We got to play the Rock Box, and we got to play Creators Don't Die. And these shows were fucking packed. They're crazy, and it was a culture that I didn't know existed, that I'd never been a part of. I didn't know who NASCAR was whenever I first hopped in Emotional Zan's band. And like I said, I was the drummer. Eventually, our guitarist joined the Navy. Yeah. And shout out Stud. I was like, dude, I know several drummers that are fucking better than me at drums, that have better gear. Let's get the boy. So I had Cameron pull up. And,
about a year ago.
Yeah.
A year ago now?
Yeah. And we've done one national tour with Cameron and one Texas run with Nate No Face. Shout out Nate No Face.
Yeah.
So y'all are pumped right now to go on tour.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 100%. We are fucking chomping at the bit to get out of here. I love Dallas, love DFW, love Texas, but fucking A, man, whenever you know you're about to go, it's hard to fucking...
It's about to be the longest week of my life waiting for this shit.
Yeah, just going to work. Just going to work, and I quit my job for this one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been at a food pantry managing distributions and offsite distributions and receiving for the last 2 years. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to keep it after... not having PTO and taking this long. It's going to be about 6 weeks. So
how does it... Okay, so that's something that, at some point, everybody chasing something is going to have to come to terms with, right?
Yeah.
So how was that moment for you? Because it's something I don't think until I really started trying to take stuff, and not even a little more serious, but I realized that I'm only seeing... whatever I was doing, whether it was a band, anything creative that I was doing, I was only seeing it up to a point. And I'm like, why can't I get past that point? And it's it's because my brain didn't want to let me go and have that decision. We're one day, if this is to go, whatever I was doing, to go past like a certain level, stuff will have to be sacrificed, like real shit, not just like, time or things that are manageable for me right now. Like there'll be something to be like, oh, this is an actual hard decision. You know what I mean? Because once you make it, like it's not like easily reversible or whatever. You don't
get
like that.
You don't get career level results from hobby level commitment.
Yeah.
And so like making the choice to quit your job, like that's a career level commitment.
And it's scary.
That's a choice. Yeah. I was thinking on this tour that I was going to be faced with a similar thing. I work for a small company. It's just like me, my boss, and another guy. There's 3 of us. And I've worked for him for 5 years now. And with this coming up, this is going to be the second time I'm going to try to take a month plus off. Like I did it last September, right? Last year for the first national tour. And man, I was so nervous. My heart was pounding. I walk in the office to go talk to my boss. I'm like, I'm doing this. It'd be cool if I still had a job when I got back, but
yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'll work with you. I've known you forever.
Yeah.
So,
but like, fully knowing that it's like, oh, it might not work out.
Yeah, I might be trying to find a new job and all of that going into this tour, but
which, like in this case, you're saying that like that's kind of like what happened here, right? It wasn't able to work out.
What I can say though is like I feel like something that both us like dudes being from the country and shit, like everybody that loves us or cares about us or knows us on a personal level, we got a lot of people that give a fuck about us, and like a lot of people that are like pushing us, like just go, just keep going, like you're like. There's shit happening for you that you're doing things. So like don't stop. Momentum is a very important it's just a very important like I guess principle and thing to keep in pocket. Momentum is necessary for any type of entertainment industry. Yeah,
like you have to strike when that fucking iron's hot and just keep going as much as you can, cuz like with anything, I've had it just in like just regular life. Like if I'm doing really well at something and suddenly like I stop day or two or whatever like length of time like matters is enough to like, oh, it slows down. Then it doesn't like I don't stop immediately, but it starts slowing down, and it's easier to be like, oh, I don't have to do this now, and then and it just keeps going down. Then I'm like, oh shit, now I gotta fucking to get to where I was, I gotta fucking pick it back up, and it's hard, but that's one thing you can't. I feel like in music or entertainment, like you have to take those opportunities, because as much as it is talent, as much as it is knowing the right people, it's that with luck. Like you have to you get lucky. Like with some opportunities, you create some for you, and there's hard work in it, yes, but there are those chances that just break, and like you have to be able to take that risk, and as scary as it is, you have to be ready. Like, oh, it might not amount to anything, but like it might, it could.
Also, like that opportunity, like especially speaking of like big tours, like that could never come again. You never know like what's gonna happen.
You don't know.
Someone's car could flip going down the highway, and like your whole world's turned upside down.
The pandemic is a big example.
Yeah,
the pandemic is a big example of like you think one thing is going exactly. Nobody ever fucking thought that would happen. All these like livelihoods as people like concerts, think about everything that was fucking canceled that year. And with like, I guess what people see as like big level and like celebrities or like these giant like rock stars or pop stars always say, oh, like, they're already rich or whatever. But like there were bands that were making their living with touring, because like with bands, like that's normally where you make your money, is like you going on the road, and hitting all stuff, and then that completely being taken away out of nowhere. Like if you're not prepared for that, we like unfortunately like we lost a lot of bands, like or a lot of like musicians that I don't have enough time to bounce back.
We lost a lot of people.
Lost a lot of people in general, yeah. And it's sad, and it's something that you don't. I think that was one of the like eye openers that people got. It was like, oh shit, like
figure out what the fuck you care about. Figure out what the fuck you care about and put it up front. Like, it ain't. Once it's gone, it ain't coming back. Yeah,
because it really is. We don't know shit as much as we think we know where our lives are headed. It's fucking shitty and stuff as it might feel to think about. It's like, oh yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen walking out this, right after this,
100%.
what's gonna happen, and which is why you have to, whatever you, like you're saying, whatever you give a fuck about, whatever you care about, whatever is your passion, whatever you love, that's what your focus should be. Like all the little shit where you're like, oh, I can, I'm just gonna wait to do what I love here, or to focus on what I actually want to focus later. Is like that later, might not ever come for you, depending on what.
That's the worst thing you can do, is sit there and wait for something, wait to do something. It drives me crazy when people say stuff like that. It's like, bro, like, do it now.
Yeah.
Like, you're not promised tomorrow.
I heard,
whatever you want to do it now.
That sticks with me is like, once you, like, step one is figuring out what you care about, what are you passionate about. Step two, everything from now on should be, like, every decision you make should be in service and purpose of whatever that passion was. He's like, and that was like, I was like, that's the most real that I've ever gotten. It's like, yes, like once you figure out the big thing here, okay, everything that you do in your life, the way you, speak to other people, the way you create your community around you, whoever you're hanging out with, everything, decision, every step of your life, like, needs to be to get here, to get to, or pursue, or, have whatever it is that you decided that it was. And, that changes, but you can always, like, it just needs to be in purpose. You can't be like, oh, okay, I will, I want to get here, but I'm going to keep fucking around with this over here, and then I'll get there eventually, because that's, if you're going here and you start taking detours over here, like, you're going to take longer.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
I've had a very, like, momentous year, like, with immigration and getting shit done, but, all my life, like, I guess since I was, like, 14, I had problems with drugs and alcohol, but, like, this year, I've, cut back as much as I could, to, like, make sure that I got to do what I needed to do.
You realize that. You realize how... again, I don't know, like, maybe I just feel like when I was younger, I felt like I could do all of it, you know what I mean? And you have a little bit, at least for me, I had more like a feeling of invincibility. So I'm just like, and time. I was like, oh, I have so much time to figure this shit out. And then you start realizing that you fucking don't, you know what I mean? When you start losing people, when you start, just seeing that shit around you, it's like, oh, you don't get this. And until I make that decision, it doesn't even fucking matter, like, everybody around me telling me that I need to do this or trying to help me, because if I don't make that decision, like, I'm not fucking going anywhere. And that's what happened. So for me, like, it was dude, alcohol was fucking crazy. Like, I was like very, very, like, it was very, like, controlling, like, most of my life when I was, like, a lot younger. And it took quite a bit before, like, I was like, oh, okay, like, I need to stop this. And it wasn't like the actual, like, rock bottoms that should have been those. It was like the most random time in my life where it was like, okay, like, I'm ready to change this around. But it was like, that's why I tell people, is like, your rock bottom is always like where you choose it to be. It's like, it's not where people see it and be like, oh, that's gonna be the moment, because it might not. You can always sink lower, you can always sink, like, to all this stuff, but once you realize, what do I want, it's like, oh, okay, like, I want to be seen as, like, a good person. Like, that's probably what my passion is. Like, as, like, oh, okay, I want to be a good person. I want to make sure that people around me feel comfortable around me, feel like, we're friends. Like, I want to make people feel, like, at home, like, with me. And that's, like, my big thing. So that's why everything that I try to do.
You crush it, bro. Yeah, you crush it. Your positivity it definitely shines in a dark room in Deep Ellum watching the show, man. I see you. I want to give you a hug, dude, because you're just a good dude.
I appreciate that. But that's literally, that's what I feel like. I don't know, whatever calling that is, I'm like, that's the person I want to be. So it's not always easy, but that's what, like, I want to do. Like, because I know the person that I have been, and, like, and once I realized, like, oh, like, these are the people that I kind of didn't, allow, that did the opposite and made them, feel terrible about this stuff. I'm like, I don't want to do that again. So that was, like, my turning point and big. So, like, everything I've done, like, with music, with, the podcast, with all this, like, every creative endeavor, anything that I do out in my real life, like, that's my purpose. So every decision that I make is for that, It's the 21st, right? Today?
Yeah.
I think so.
I finished probation in 3 days.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like really feeling up about it.
Yeah.
I got a DWI in 2020 that, like, really slowed me down.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that was rock bottom, but it sucked mad dick.
Bro, you tell it, like, a lot of people know, and I don't care. Like, I've had two. Like, I had two when I was younger, and I had them, like, I had got one, and then while that one was in process, I got another one. Like, that's how, and it was just like, one of the things like they made us do, we made us go to like this fucking class, and I had to take it. And side note, like the class was more of like teaching you how to get away with DWIs than it was like teaching you not to do these, because he was like, this is what you want to do. I'm like, what are you doing? But anyways, like there was a worksheet that they made us do, and I was like, we're gonna calculate just how much this has cost you. And I'm not gonna lie, it's with everything, like all the fees, lawyer fees, all that stuff, it was over 20 grand.
Fucking hell,
that's
man.
Just money. You know what I mean?
Hell.
That's just money. Like you think about time, you think about shit. Like I wasn't able to drive for a good while. I almost lost my job. I got a lot of fucking
You miss work?
breaks.
Yeah, to go to fucking court.
Court, court. And the second time, I called my boss from jail because they were the only ones that answered. And like literally, I was just like, "Hey, like I'm here. I need you to write these numbers down. I need you to call them, tell them where I'm at, so they can come get me." And this lady, like, shout out that boss. Her name was Vicky. She called like all my family and told them like the information that I told her. Didn't say shit to anyone, and she was my manager, direct manager, and didn't tell anybody about it. Just called me in sick. And just like after that, we had a talk. Gave me a promotion like months later once I like started working. But like, so I realized the opportunities that like I was getting, and I'm like, and that's when I felt at the bottom because I'm like, I don't fucking deserve these. You know what I mean? So I was like figuring out. So for me, it was like, how do I make sure that anytime something good in my life comes in, I don't have to like second guess why it's happening to me. So now like when stuff comes my way, I'm just like, yes, this is what I work for. Like it's not. I don't feel bad about any of like these good things coming my way because I'm like, yeah, like because I have been working. Like that's what's my purpose. Like that's what I've been working for. You
deserve happiness just as much as anybody else.
And everybody does, but it's
relative.
It's hard like to and I know now not to beat myself up, and I shouldn't like have been thinking that way, but it all comes with, now that it's about effort, you know what I mean?
I just want to say, bro, I see you in the gym, dude. You're fucking killing it. Like, you're talking about effort. You're talking about doing good things. One of the biggest things you can do for yourself is take care of your body, and it's fucking beautiful to watch you shred.
It's the first time, this is probably the first time I've ever gone into it with a more, like, it's for my actual, like, well-being, not only, like, body, not only like what I look like, but just like what I feel like. Like it just makes me feel like I'm a positive
mental,
person.
Bro. Yeah, I see you, dude. I see you getting it out. I know what it's like in the gym. I love being in the gym. It's something that saves me. But yeah, I love seeing you do that shit, dude.
Yeah, heck yeah. It's just working on, again, it's just all like how to maintain positive freaking like vibes around you, and it's a lot more powerful than people like I think give it credit for sometimes.
Dude, it helps me hope for the best, and I know like whenever I'm in there, I think about shit like what we got to do, and sometimes I get burnt out going to this practice, that practice, paying for a practice spot because we're in 3 fucking bands right now. We haven't been able to land a good practice spot.
Really?
So like we're practicing where we can, when we can, as much as we can, and it's getting fucking annoying. As soon as I'm back from tour, I'm fucking handling this shit. But as far as like music, it hasn't made anything hard for me yet, except like. Maybe one tour did at some point. But fucking, but I mean, the first time I went on tour was in 2018. I played drums for Grave Dweller. Shout out Grave Dweller. And fucking, I don't know. That was my first taste of the road, and I knew it's what I wanted to do. But the road hasn't taken away a funeral, a wedding, a birthday party for my daughter yet, like anything like that. I haven't had to make a tough decision like that yet. And her birthday is July 6th. Even, I think it was last year, my grandma passed away the night that Zan dropped the Numb album, the new metal album. Yeah. And we had a show that night. I got a phone call in the morning that my grandma had died. And, I could have like pussed up, curled up and cried about it. But, it's music. It's what I love, and I really think she would want me to be happy. Also, coincidentally, the next day, It Is What It Is was going on tour in the Midwest. Yeah. And she lived in Corydon, Indiana, which is 20 miles outside of Louisville, Kentucky. We had a show at a music festival at Mag Bar in Louisville that day, and we had a 1 o'clock pretty shitty set time because nobody knows us. Yeah. But fucking they moved us to like 5 p.m. so I got to bury my grandma and be her pallbearer and hang out with my aunt, uncle, learn a little bit about my family, and see a bunch of my cousins' kids I'd never met. It was just beautiful, bro. Just like all I'm saying is music has taken me places. This tour, we're gonna go see the fucking Grand Canyon. And I haven't been there since I was 3.
Yeah.
So I don't remember it. He's never been. Last tour, we got to see fucking Niagara Falls.
Put our feet in the river.
Yeah. We snuck off on a little path.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Drinking Michelob Ultra.
we had like beers in the bag, like weed in the bag, and we like walk up the trail, and there's this kind of like it's like a little off the sidewalk. There's like a little dirt path kind of going between all the shrubbery and stuff. We walk in, and there's this little cut in on the side of the river where like that river is just flowing. That's Niagara Falls right there. That river is rushing by rapids, and there's this little cut in, and the water is still right there. Like the current doesn't hit it, and you can get about like a little more than ankle deep right there, and you're still like 20 feet from like dangerous waters. And so we were chilling there, and we shotgunned some like White Claws and shit. Fucking ripped the bong with our feet. Just feet away from certain death. It was awesome. Awesome.
And that's again something just given to you through music.
Yeah.
I mean, like those experiences, like that's what like music brings you. It's just, I mean, the experiences you have with, especially like in bands, like you have like this whole like group of people that you get to grow with, and you get to have like these experiences with, which most of the time these are like your best friends. It's like, dude, we get to do shit together. Like not only make music, we get to go play it, we get to travel and like see. It doesn't like I feel like it doesn't matter like where you're going. Like that's one thing I never got to do is tour, but like I go, it's hanging out with your friends that you make music with. Play that music for like strangers in towns you don't know, like, but you're still playing the music that you love. Like it's great, and then you get to the experiences, and like I think with your grandma's is fucking beautiful. You know what I mean? Like you were given a chance. Again, if you would have like canceled everything, it took away that opportunity to have that experience with, you know, your family out there that you know you wouldn't have got regardless. If like you're saying, you curl up and just let you know it just take over. And like I said, your grandma would have wanted you to be happy, and you have the opportunity with music to play to let go for a second, to not have to think about, you know, that for whatever time you're on stage or for whatever time you're like on the road with your friends around the people that like love you and care about you. Like it's just amazing. I love what music does.
No, yeah, I can't. I think that's one thing that I'm fucking addicted to about music is going across this country and seeing people that I care about. Like I've only hung out with my biological father maybe 4 times in my life, but I got to have a steak with him last tour in Orlando, Florida. Then he watched me rip the fuck out of a gig. Then later that night, I'm eating Molly and having a great time with my homies. Like fucking this tour, I've been talking to people. I've just got people here, there, fucking everywhere, and I can't wait to see so much of my family. I got family in San Fran, family in Denver, friends in Salt Lake, friends in Nashville. I'm probably gonna see my aunt in Indiana, and I'm just really excited to just get to share more experiences with people that I give a fuck about that I don't get to see every day.
That's fucking cool. That's fucking cool and beautiful. I'm glad you have a lot of opportunities to do that. You know, like with every project that you're been involved with.
They're all cooking. Everybody's fucking going hard. Everything that I'm involved with right now, I feel really passionate about, and just positive. Just super positive, man. It doesn't. I'm not worried about a thing right now.
But I think that comes with the same. Again, you see the drive, what the effort that you're giving into. But that's also like what's surrounding you, what you're surrounding yourself with. You know, all your projects that you're working, the people that are around you are doing the shit. You know what I mean? Are getting into, and that's like it doesn't hold you accountable, but it makes you want to keep whatever energy you are. You were talking about momentum. There are times where people talk about being motivated, and when I think about it with working out and stuff like that, people were like, "Oh, sometimes I lose motivation." Then I had a friend who's like, "Yeah, that's why you make habits. All this stuff has to be second nature. It's got to be like because you do it so often. It's like so when your motivation lacks, your discipline takes over. So it's not because you want to like go work out today. It's because you need to. It's like that's what you told yourself you were gonna do, and that's what you're gonna do it. When you have a community built around you that all has that same attitude, then when you feel like, I don't want to do this, you see everybody else, well, I'm not fucking stopping. And then they're like, okay, well, then I can't fucking either. You know what I mean? It has that extra pick-me-up without people telling you shit. Nobody has to tell you to be like, hey, dude, like, you should be working on your music, whatever. It's literally just you by seeing everybody else keep doing, the people that you have around you, your teams, you know, your band members, everybody that, you know, is part of your life. If they are on that same level, then you are going to keep up to that level because you want to stay where they are. Like you
talking about that. Freaking. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Just Gamma.
Yeah, Gamma.
It's a good old fucking no on Instagram every day. Like, y'all better be practicing. I feel that pressure every day. I'm like, I gotta practice. You know, like,
he always say that. Yeah.
I see that. I'm like, every day I see it, I'm like, I gotta go home and practice.
Yeah, and that's usually any moments that I used to catch myself like not being as motivated. I started looking at like, okay, it was usually times where I was like self-isolating. So I was just like staying away from like the community that helps build me up because I knew, I guess part of me knew like, it's like, oh, if I'm around them, like I will have to hold myself accountable to be doing shit. But if I stay away, like I can get away with, not putting in the effort. So that's why now like I have to constantly be around that community because I know that that's what drives me to keep doing the shit that makes me happy because this shit like makes me happy doing this stuff. And it's weird because when I start not doing it, my brain gets to and like it's too much work. Like, why are you doing this? Like, what's the point of this? You don't even like doing this. And I do it like literally. I took a break from doing the podcast, and I'm like, that's where my brain was at. And then I like do one, and I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? I fucking love this shit. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And like, but you're like again, like that's me personally. Like my brain, that's the way it like wants to talk down on what I do. But it's because I know what helps me. I know what keeps me like active. I know what's keeping my brain, which again, it's a balance of everything. It's a balance of like working out. It's a balance about being around those people. It's a balance on making sure that like I am working towards like what my goal, like the thing that I have set to like, that's my passionate thing. Keep working at that. And it's obviously going to make me happy because that's kind of like, that's the path that I'm on. You know what I mean? That's the path. If I keep going this way, it's yielded results in my, the way I feel happiness. So I'm like, why would I deviate like from that, or why would I stop it? Because that always, every time I stop, I end up feeling bad. So like that's how I have to look at it.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
No, the people you meet, like being held accountable by a community is like a good thing for a young man, in my opinion. It's like it's almost like a sport. You got a team. You keep saying that all these different teams. So just having that and going through life not alone. Like I said, I'm a people person, and I think I need all the people that I have in my life. I think they're there for a reason. Yeah,
absolutely. I've grown to see myself as that much, and I don't know when like I really just like opened up to the idea because I've always been super social for the most part, but like superficially, like when I was younger. And I was just like, oh, like, so people knew me and I was like super happy all the time, but it was always like had to be this person all the time with everybody. And I was thinking about it that way. I was like, okay, like if I'm around these people, I need to be this person. So, which is why like actually like why I had such a big problem like with alcohol, because that's what I felt like, oh, when I'm with people, like I have to be this level of like happy or goofy or whatever. And I have to show that. And this is the only way that I can, like, cause I don't feel good right now, blah, blah, blah.
Dude, damn. I'm sorry for interrupting, bro. No. I just want to say I'm glad that we have like a similar, like we have a bond together by sharing that vice of alcohol. But like I'm a negative motherfucker. So that's one reason that I'm completely attracted to you as far as just being a human, and interacting with you, dude, is your positivity definitely shines, man. It makes me feel fucking good. Every time I'm around you, dude, I've never caught a bad vibe.
Good. That's my purpose.
I agree.
Yeah,
and that's what I like, because it's gotten me to meet like awesome people. Again, y'all are excellent examples of that, and being able to keep people around. You know what I mean? That we can go. I mean, because like how long was it when like the pandemic was going on that nobody saw each other, and then like you see each other and you want to give everybody the biggest fucking hugs in the fucking world.
Not too long for us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were having parties at the crib.
We were wild. We were wild, and we threw a couple underground little pandemic shows.
It was actually during the pandemic first time I met Ed.
The first time was August. We were like, fuck this.
We had a little house. We threw a house show, like, we're going to play. We're going to invite people over. Like, you, Ed, and Daniel all came over. Yeah. And after we played, it just turned into like a jam session. Just everybody like was passing the microphone
Oh,
around.
I fucking remember that.
And Ed was sitting there playing
Cameron's birthday party that year.
Yeah.
In October.
And he was sitting there jamming on the guitar with a fucking quarter because he couldn't find a pick for some damn
Just
reason.
killing those strings, bro.
I literally
And me and him, I'd never met him before. I maybe seen him around, never talked to him, but we just sat there and jammed for like 2 or 3 hours while everybody was passing the mic around. I was like, "You're a good guitar player. I want to be in a band with you." And now I'm in a band with him.
Now you're in a band.
When he said everybody's going to be in the band, I was like,
Manifestation.
Yes, manifestation.
Let's go.
He really was the cherry on top, man. He's the last person I asked like to do it, and yeah, it's like, you know, I'm gonna play guitar sometimes. I wrote all of this shit, so like for our set, you know, it's gonna be Austin and Ed and me just fronting, which is something that I do love doing. I'm passionately a front man.
Yeah.
I feel like I can reach people better, but I also love to pick up the guitar and just like have it. But the three of us are just a wall of sound, and it's sounding really good at practice. We will not play a show until October, November, December.
Yeah.
But trust me, we've got content coming, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what happens with this project.
Honestly, it sounds like it sounds great. First of all, the music, but it just like overall everything looks like it's gonna be so fun. Like that's what like I was looking at. Like I was once I was watching, like, because you sent me the video, the first video y'all shot, and I got to see it and listen to the music with the performance all together, and I'm like, this is gonna go the fuck off, like, on shows. Like I was already like I was already feeling myself like at a show listening to this shit, and I'm like,
Yes.
it's gonna be such a fucking wild time. Like it's fucking gonna be great. Like people are just gonna be fucking like, I was like already seeing all like these shows and feeling myself, and I'm like, this is fucking great. I go, which is what I love. I love seeing that live experience. Like music is great, and I love listening to it, but the combination of being able to hear the songs that you really like, but having that live energy is something like, it's just, you can't compare it to anything else. That's when people think about, like, you know, concerts and stuff like that, I go, that's why people like go out to that, to feel that, you know.
Cameron's an extremely expressive drummer. Edward is like, I don't have to say shit about Edward. Like
every time I see like a ballista,
Edward's
like
crazy,
he's
bro.
always being carried around by the crowd in these random
Crazy.
cities. Yeah, you fucking.
That's his drug of choice, from what I can see. It's like is the energy of a crowd. Austin, honestly, Alex from Animal Jam back in the day, he hit me up and he was like, this is crazy, dude, and it's crazy to see Austin going this hard, because Austin loves Ed's energy, and he's just matching that in this project.
Yeah.
Badger, 10 all the time, 10 all, and he's a music teacher, so everybody's talented, everybody's got it naturally, everybody's got it on paper, and I'm just really, I trust in this band, I trust in everything that I'm doing right now with every project, or I wouldn't be doing it. So.
Yeah, I feel like that's why like everybody has, at least it has any bit of experience with y'all is already like on board and like 100% like ready for this, and just like ready to hear it and ready to like experience it, because they've been witness to it, you know what I mean? Not just like, oh, like I hear about this. Anybody who's experienced anything with you is like, okay, like they're backing this. Like that's why like I felt like when you literally like were just dropping like, again, just like teasers of stuff, and then like being able to like hear some of it and then like watch the video and do all this stuff, I'm like, yeah, it all perfectly makes sense. Like it's all like, because it's all good, like it's all good and it's all working. So I'm like, again, I hope people like are getting hyped for it as much as like I am, because I already know it's gonna be so good, and I only know like the tip of the iceberg, like not even that much. Like, you know, y'all like already know a lot more, and then you like seeing the whole vision, have it all up here. Like I can see it every time like you talk about it. I can see like part of it is coming out what you're explaining to me, but there's a whole bunch of shit like being worked on over here for the future, and that's what like has got me pumped, is that I can see like that shit working in your head, and I'm like, dude, like what I'm hearing and seeing is only just like the start of this. Like it's got so much infinite potential, and I'm excited as fuck. But yeah, so you said you do have some stuff dropping this summer.
Yeah, July 7th, as soon as our tour is up, we're going to drop the single for Spineless, the first track off the album Stellium by Immigration, and it's gonna drop with a video that was shot by Baby Ave, and the cover art for the single was done by Daisy Jaylene, Energetic Enigma. I love you. I'm really glad that I have all these friends, dude, to like help me. Like if I see it, I can bring everybody together and get us to this location.
Yeah.
You know, like we did a shoot at the Fabrication Yard, we did a shoot at the Latino Cultural Center.
Yeah.
Like I thought those were solid ideas, and I've just got more, man. I've got so many things I want to do, and I'm 29. I think 30 is going to be a great year for me. I can't wait, and I'm excited about everything.
Hell yeah.
I'm not going to stop.
Nobody wants you to stop, so I'm glad that's the attitude right now. And I'm honestly, like I said, excited for this project especially. I know all your other projects, Emotional Sand, it is what it is. Everything like that y'all are working on like is working, is cooking, is doing like stuff. So I'm excited as that. I appreciate y'all stopping by today, like a lot, honestly. Like,
thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
And anytime you want to come back, just say the word. And
I've wanted to do this shit for a long time, bro. So
me too. I was stoked to be here. He said it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was really just fucking with him in the group chat. I was like, guys, we got invited to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. I'm gonna do it alone. ... Actually, I'm gonna take one of y'all. Who wants it?
I was like, fuck all y'all. It's me.
I was like, yeah, he's right, guys. It's fucking Cameron.
So yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm bringing Cameron. I was like, fuck yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a fucking fun time. So yeah, thank you guys for coming by. Again, excited for everything coming out. Man, I don't got nothing else. I want to know more, but I'm gonna let that suspense build because I'm ready for it. Oh, yeah. So there's plenty coming out.
Catch us at So What, playing with Emotional Zen on this tour.
Death Proof.
And Death Proof and NASCAR Aloe.
You playing both days?
We're playing day two of
okay.
Day 2 of So What.
Sick. All right. This has been episode 71 with Spencer and Cameron of Immigration, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Sounds and breakdowns.